Hello, everyone. I'm Professor Geek. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the Saturday Night Rewatch. Tonight we have Hellraiser.
Didn't get it. No.
At last. And with us tonight is, of course, my trusty TA, Big Al, as always. Say hi, Al.
Hi, Al.
And special guest, as promised, the Klingon Cleric himself, Troy, joining us. Welcome, Troy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good, good. So, here we go. Hellraiser. I'm excited. I'm having a good time.
Are you in a fetal position in your office chair?
No, but I gotta be honest, guys. Came awfully close to trying to cancel this one. I'm trying to find some excuse or a way out. It's weird. I was gonna save this for when we start the film, but I'll probably go ahead and say it now for people while they're filing in. I've never seen the whole thing fully through. I couldn't make it. I couldn't. Now, I got a good deal into the film, and I thought, it was just one of those movies that I wanted to have seen, so I thought, that's enough. I'll just read the rest of it on Wiki. It's enough of a concept that I can't write it off as, it's just another one of those silly old slasher movies. The concept is a deep one, but it's hard for me to watch, my dainty little sentimentalities you guys like to make fun of me for, but I'm really interested with Troy here as well, because I know this is like really close to his heart, so I'm hoping to gain some new insights. So.
I really appreciate that you said that, Prof, because that's exactly it. There is so much here, and that is what makes it so different. And Clive Barker really knew that. It's the film is a product of its time, and it's a product of its time because it subverts expectations, but it does it the way a writer should subvert expectations in a clever and thoughtful way.
Yeah. Hearing a little echo there.
That's Nanette's getting her.
Nanette.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. Just making sure it wasn't Al's headphones again.
I turned them down. Before I got on here, I was like, I'm turning them down. And you know what? I'm turning it down even a little extra. Just...
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
But I do want to say, net.
There you go. There you go.
She loves the shout out every week.
Welcome to everybody in the chat. We got a lot of people in here. 19 already. Crazy. Owen Lister, Janice Zeal, Crazy Kitty. Everybody's in here. Muhammad. Welcome. Phoenix Lord Asterman. So cool. I was looking at places to start the movie, and I'm watching it on Amazon Prime, which it is free on Amazon Prime. So anybody, if you're looking for a copy, if you happen to be an Amazon Prime member, but it opens with the usual, the Prime advertisement or whatever. So I got through that. Then it was like a image release or something. I didn't know if that was really part of the copy that everybody would have. So you tell me if you guys think there's a better place, but I just let the New World Pictures logo, I let that load up until the point where the letters New World Pictures just appeared at the bottom of the screen, and then I hit pause.
Okay.
Does that sound like a good place?
That's where I'm at now.
That would be 14 seconds on the collector's edition DVD.
Okay. Yeah. And on Amazon Prime, it's about 30 seconds.
Yeah. I'm at 15 on if anybody who's downloaded it.
Okay. Any of you pirates out there?
Actually, it's funny because
matey.
I've been spending so much time getting ready for this and focusing on this. The one thing that I didn't do was download an extra copy to put on Nanette's computer so that she could listen to it. Because gotcha. I have it up and I have to listen to it with headphones. She's not going to be able to hear it. I didn't even think about that, but she knows.
What kind of a husband do you think you are?
Well,
you have failed your marriage vows, sir.
If you're Prime members, you can watch it on Prime.
No, we're not.
No.
We don't have any of those spend money on them things.
Yeah.
Not yet. We're waiting to see how these streaming wars go before we commit to anything.
I so wish I could do that too, but the problem is when you have a daughter on the autistic spectrum who's used to finding Handy Manny on the green one, which is Hulu, you better damn well make sure that she can still find Handy Manny on that green one. Don't put it on a different platform. She's got to be there.
You're right. That's exactly why my mom first got cable, was for my brother.
Oh yeah. So Well, how's people in the chat? Is everybody ready? Does people need desperately need a moment or two to get this queued up to where I said there? Or again, I think that was 14 seconds on the collector's edition that Troy's watching, 30 seconds on Amazon Prime, and it's right when the New World Pictures letters pop up. The logo kind of fades in with the red, but then as soon as the letters appear at the bottom that says New World Pictures, that's where we paused it.
Right. Anybody seen Mara Jade? I didn't see Mara Jade here yet. She said she was coming in. Talked to her earlier.
She's been wandering in rather late lately. She's
Yeah.
she's the tardy one as of late.
She's been cleaning.
I do have an attendance policy, and enough tardies do round up to an absence. So, as I tell my students at the beginning of each semester, I say, look, everybody's late now and then. Not a big deal. Everybody has something going on. I said, but this tardiness policy, this is for those of you who are chronically unable to get your shit together. The ones who are constantly, every single time, waltzing in 10 minutes late,
Well, as your trusty TA, I will take care of this student's punishment.
Thank you. Please handle that disciplinary action. Thank you.
I will handle it, and I will handle it quite heartily.
So I think I'm going to use that as a segue, because there is a scene, this is a pretty graphic movie, and one of the missing scenes, one of the things that was cut out by the censors, was a spanking scene.
Really?
Yes, of all the things that had to be cut, it was a spanking scene. And,
wow.
and we're talking like, just, the old fashioned, pulp girly magazine type spanking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Hi, Mara Jade.
Hey, there she is. She says, I have my shit together.
She probably has her stuff together more than any of us.
Sneaking back in the back of the class, opening the book real quick, trying to ask what page we're on. I see that. Nothing escapes the Prof. Margie. That's cool. Well, Mara, and then anybody else who's just popping in here at the last moment, we're going to start as soon as the New World Images letters appear at the bottom of the screen. So that's 30 seconds if you're watching on Amazon Prime, and it's I think 14 seconds on the collector's edition. What'd you say on the pirated edition, Al?
I'm at 15, so 14, 15.
Yeah, somewhere there ish.
Usually the downloads are rips directly from the DVDs. So
yeah, so we're about the same spot. I probably just went a tick too far.
Yeah. All right. So, you guys, either you have any objection to going ahead and doing the countdown?
No, go for it.
I don't. Do you?
No. Yeah. I think we'll just hold off, till next year. Now, Age of Boomer.
Oh, you kill me! My head would explode.
What? Are we going to do?
Like
are we going to do
Frank at the end
House
of
of?
this movie.
When are we going to do House of 1,000 Corpses?
Never.
I've never seen it.
Age of Boomer, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. It says, I want to see spanking scene.
Aged Boomer, you would think that it would be out there somewhere, and it's not. I can't find it anywhere.
As we get into the movie, I want you to explain more. Like, do you know who's spanking who and what?
Yep, I'll even show you right where the scene would be.
Cool.
It'll seem obvious when you see it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, well, let's go ahead and roll with this. So, as anybody new to the rewatches, I'll say 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, wait a minute. I see No Wait, and it's by Muhammad. I think that this is the only time Prof wants me. He's messing with me, so I think this is the only time Prof wants me to actually say, no, wait.
Yeah. Wait, are you sure? Do you really want to do this?
Muhammad's not ready, guys. I'm sorry. All right. So, for those new to the countdown, I'll say 3, 2, 1, play. And when I say the word play, that's when we all actually hit the button. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. And I have to turn this volume down in my headphones a bit there.
Yeah, I might as well turn it all the way down because I pretty much have this film memorized. I know what they're saying.
Do you have a count as to how many times you've seen it?
Oh gosh, I haven't really thought about it. When it was on cable is when it was playing over and over and over again. So it was one of those movies for me. It was always on, so I always saw it.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, Clive Barker was born, I think, in 1952, and he grew up as a gay man in the 50s and 60s. So you'll see the recurring theme in his work of just repressing, desires that society considers to be aberrant. You know?
Also fears as well, right?
Exactly. Well, and fear of what is inside, you know, what's considered to be dark and so forth. So desire. One of the things I had said to you, Professor, was I was going to set you up for some great commentary, because especially with the Catholic Bible Geek and all of that, we're going to be looking at themes of what exactly is the sinful nature. You know, and it really sin is the human nature. It's what's bestial in us, what's kind of natural, and society being the, you know, denying what is a natural inclination for us. You know,
got a super chat, Prof.
Yes, this is from Stephen Cruz. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat. I'll reenact the spanking scene and send it to y'all.
Yeah, well,
thanks, buddy.
I do like that this film stars Garrick from Deep Space Nine.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
Andrew
right.
Robinson.
That's Andrew Robinson. Yeah, he was very influential in shaping this film. This was, I believe, it was Clive Barker's first film, and it was the first film for a lot of the people in it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It was, except Andrew Robinson, who was, had a lot of credits to his name already, and Claire Higgins, who was a very accomplished stage actress. By the way, if that spanking scene is going to be reenacted, it must include Claire Higgins, please. If you're going to be authentic about it. You don't have to have Sean Chapman in it, but that's okay.
So one of the just starting it from like big picture thematic stuff, in the movie. I mean, you got the idea. It's almost a cliche sometimes, but it's true nonetheless that there's the thin line between pleasure and pain, right? So that's where you've got the idea that somebody like them seeking intense pleasure, but he perhaps doesn't realize that that's also intense pain at the same time, and there's all kinds of implications from that, though. I mean, you can stick with the little cliche, but you can even go into the spiritual, the suffering for virtue's sake and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can really take that start and really go deeper if you want to.
There was a picture that Clive Barker saw. It was a picture of the experience of Ling Chi, the death by 1,000 cuts.
Ugh.
And he said, what burst upon me was the fact that these two complete contrasts were identical: divine ecstasy and extreme horror. Because this picture of someone who was dying.
Look at this. I was just gonna say that scene right there, the little ceramic of the couple having sex and the bug crawling next to him, just those dueling images. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And that's going to come up again pretty soon. And that's exactly what we're talking about. He looked at this picture of this person who's dying under torture, and he's got this look of serenity and pleasure on his face, and it's just so anachronistic.
Muhammad wants a timestamp. I'm at 4 minutes, 42 seconds, 43, 44, 45.
4:31.
I'm at 4:31. Yeah.
It's the Grizzly Dungeon.
I really wish I'd gotten my Rubik's Cube to play with during this.
Now, one thing that we kind of missed here, you saw Frank opening the box, and he's struggling to get it open. Okay. And when I look at it, of course, I'm looking at it as the prop. How is the prop designed in case I ever want to make one myself? And it is a struggle. This is something he's seeking after. Opening this doorway is something he's really working at. Now, in a second, you're going to see the Hell Priest pick up the box. He's doing it right now. Yeah. And now he's going to do the exact same motion, and he's doing it with a caress.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's working for him. He doesn't even have to really do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those 80s effects.
The little sperms running into the
hand painted by Clive Barker and some Greek guy that he was working with, all in one day. Very low budget, this film, and he himself says that it really pushed him to be very thoughtful about what he did and how he did it.
What about the house itself as a character in this movie? the design, you got this small little upper room that can easily be closed off, and no one has to talk about it or mention it or whatever. Again, that inner thing in the mind, right?
Yep, very, very key. And in fact, Clive Barker himself actually said that, and Ashley Lawrence too, who plays Kirsty, both said that it was a perfect location. Now, this was originally going to be set in England, obviously, because Clive Barker's English, and they changed it midway through to set it in the U.S. for the U.S. audience. So this is in the north of London. This house.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Barker didn't know this, but the house was for sale at the time they were filming in it, and the couple that had legend has it that the couple that owned it had committed suicide in their car out back, and so that definitely kind of lends something to the whole grisliness of the film itself. Now here you see this is the room that Frank had been living in. Yes, and the religious icons that had belonged to their mother, who passed away recently. But obviously, he's brought a shrine into his own room. He's clearly seeking something beyond this world.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's exactly what religion is. Yeah,
she looks a lot like Allison Janney.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that hair definitely dates that late 80s, early 90s look.
Look at the framing too of her there. That's a picture of Jesus. Yeah, Sacred Heart of Jesus. So and she's sort of the savior of her, or quote unquote savior, the one bringing him back to life, in a bit.
Yeah, that's going to come up later on when Kirsty is trying to escape from Frank. She ducks into a room, and this statue just kind of plops out. It's one of those few gotcha moments in this movie. There's not a lot of those jump scares. And it's not the Cenobite, it's Jesus. And then what does she do? She just pushes him back into the closet and closes it.
Back in the closet, quote unquote.
Exactly.
Ooh, look at that.
Love that light switch.
They actually had to bring in a maggot wrangler for this movie.
Maggot wrangler.
Yes, they did. Wow. There's a scene later on that where Christy is covered in maggots, and you see the scene and you think, okay, well, they didn't use real maggots. Yep, they used real maggots.
Yeah, I always picture whenever you see the Wranglers on there, some guy with like jeans and a cowboy hat with like little bugs.
The lasso.
Here you go. See, obviously something he was seeking, that little totem, that little dirty totem.
Yep.
Now, this is very important. This is setting up. We're getting our exposition here. We're seeing this couple, they're married, and they're obviously at odds. There's a struggle there. She is remembering the brother who seduced her. And while she's having these memories of her time with him and the pleasure they shared. Now here we have Larry talking to his daughter. Those two relationships kind of juxtaposed. In a very icky kind of way when you think about it.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that goes into the the pleasure and pain dichotomy there too. You've got a marriage itself. What could be so glorious could be Troy and Nanette, so wonderfully happy forever and ever, or it could be something horrible with infidelity, like we're going to see a little bit, but then also, the relationship's different between married couple and father-daughter too.
Yeah, but they kind of touch on that too. You could say this is a family movie.
Yeah.
Bring your kids.
Interestingly, I mentioned. I just want to give a shout out to the actress in these photographs. Talking about somebody who was cast a type. Apparently, she was a prostitute who actually played a prostitute.
Really, I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, they hired an actual prostitute for those pictures.
Well, God bless.
Lister says, "What would an X-Men video directed or written by Clive Barker be like?" That'd be interesting. Perhaps like the new Cyclops, Wolverine, and Jean Grey.
I would have to say it would probably be much more thoughtful than anything they're putting out right now.
That's true.
So again, this is a real house. Even those scenes in the ceiling, except where they needed overhead shots or where they were doing special effects shots through the floor.
Sure.
They had to recreate that for the for those, but otherwise they literally were confined, and that affects how it's filmed.
I wonder if that image that's got to be carefully done. That image of the rose that we see repeated over and over and over again in all of the windows.
Yep.
That had to be something they put in there, because you got certain versions of it, not in that one there, but you got something coming from underground and blossoming above ground. And in some of the ones, the same shape of see right there. So the root beneath the ground is the same shape as the flower bud above the ground.
Yeah.
Interesting. Just look at that dichotomy.
That'll be very, very important later on when you see Christy in the hospital. They focus directly on flowers.
Oh yeah.
And we'll talk about that more there. Now, one thing I want to point out, the dude in the gray shirt there, he went on to be a director. That's the role that Doug Bradley originally wanted, the one who ended up being the Hell Priest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
This scene was added later after filming. They went back and reshot to do this scene simply because one of the producers said, we really need to open up this movie. Everything is within, he's confined. And then they got
it would have been too claustrophobic. Yeah.
Right. This reminds you, we're still in a world.
Interesting though, that even though we're outside, she's still very confined,
yes,
underneath all that big looming architecture.
Absolutely. And this is such a beautiful house. This is, very much that British architecture,
Now, is it the same house on the outside as it is on the inside?
Yes, I believe it is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, these are all the icons of mothers being taken out. Just all over
like a Catholic yard sale.
Right? Exactly. This was definitely definitely Ashley Lawrence's first film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She had never been in anything before. She just fresh out of drama school. She has not changed.
What has she gone on to do after this?
I gotta admit, I don't know.
She looks a little bit, I'm ashamed to admit that I know this. Okay. But you guys, we talked about this a little bit the other day. Remember Goblin 2, the famously bad Nilbog and all of that?
Oh yeah, sure.
Nonetheless, that Goblin Queen, I've actually looked up Deborah Reed, the woman who plays her. She was smoking hot in that. She looks a little bit like Ashley Lawrence here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dark eyes and dark hair.
Absolutely.
Goblin or Troll?
Troll, I'm sorry, but the Goblin fell backwards.
I'm going to say Goblin 2. I never heard of Goblin 1.
I'm sorry, Troll 2. I'm sorry.
I confuse.
I need to watch. I need to watch that.
You've never seen it, Al?
I've seen the first one. Never seen the second one.
Okay.
Yes, actually.
Get this woman out of this picture.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only picture she has of him.
Ashley Lawrence has done the odd thing here and there. Oh, she did an episode of Hercules' Legendary Journeys.
Oh, there you go.
Gentle Ben. Highway to Heaven. Oh, an episode of Monsters.
And so even look at the way that Julia's makeup is different and her hair is different in the flashback. More
soft
innocent.
Focus too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Soft focus, exactly.
It's like who's the dominant and submissive one in both of his relationships. She's submissive to Frank, but dominant to his brother.
Yeah. And you kind of start to get that her memory may be a little bit colored. What she projects onto Frank is very different than how he saw the relationship. Again, it's about that desire. And in this case, maybe a desire for something that didn't really exist, isn't really there for you. Now, here we have the daughter and the evil stepmother. And what's very interesting is in the original novel, The Hellbound Heart, Kirsty wasn't the daughter. She was just a friend zone friend. which
Oh,
really,
Mm.
yeah, I think it lends a great deal to it. Like it was,
Mhm.
it really should have been a daughter ever from the beginning, you know?
Yeah. Instance of the movie improving upon the original story. And was it Clive Barker's original story?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
He
encountered
did,
some of his short stories in classes.
That's creepy. Door closing on its own. Yep.
he
yep,
had done
yep,
like
yep.
4 different short stories, and then he released Hellbound Heart, and this was his first movie. And he's the one who took and made, there weren't many changes he made, but the ones he did were good, I think.
Mhm. Sure you are.
Yeah.
Stephen Cruz is the 80s when movers can drink beer on the job.
Yeah, but he wasn't one of the movers. That's Frank. That's the
No,
brother.
it was a
That's
comment
not-
from the old scene when they were
Oh.
they had the 6-pack over the mattress.
Man, looks like he was going to bite her chin off.
I love that cut though. As he
Exactly.
goes in and attacks her, you see her in the now, like gasping for breath, just still the memory of it.
Yeah.
Yep. And here's that introduction of how fear and pleasure, you know,
Mhm.
it gets muddied in your head, you know.
Good phallic symbol of the switchblade too, popping from the.
And we're going to talk about phallic symbols too. We were talking about, you know, subverting expectations. The horror movies of the day, you had the woman, you know, the female victim, you know, turning the tables on the evil male
Mhm.
with a phallic symbol. Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, stabbing
Yeah.
Michael Myers with a knife.
Yeah.
How does Kirsty stop the bad guys at the end of this movie? She
Mm.
closes the box.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
You know. Now, obviously, this is leading into that. This is that segment that would eventually lead to a spanking scene that was taken.
Oh, okay.
Now,
so it would have been in the flashback.
exactly.
Okay.
And here's another duality. You have the memory of the infidelity, you know,
Mhm.
in the marriage bed, you know, on the wedding dress.
Oh, as he's bringing it up the stairs.
Exactly. And then downstairs, he's bringing the marriage bed up the stairs, and
Blood is spilled.
as we're seeing Julia, excuse me, get nailed.
Yeah.
He's about to get nailed.
Mhm.
The eruption, the blood,
Yep.
you know, ejaculate and so forth. There you go.
Yep.
You had this scene. So I guess the spanking scene would have just been one too many butts or something. I don't know.
I know, right? Like you practically have full male frontal nudity, which is a big no-no for him, but a woman's rear would have been too much.
Yeah.
Phoenix Sword Ashman says, I hate that SJWs have ruined the word toxic because that's the perfect term for this film's relationships.
I missed it. Do you think we get? Oh, Phoenix Lord Ashman. Phoenix
hell
Lord
of a nailing.
Yeah, exactly. Phoenix Lord Asherman is asking, do you think we can get the prof to watch a second one? Maybe we can talk about that later. Now here we have Larry who has a hard time with blood. Okay.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He comes to Julia for help, like a mother, you know.
Yeah.
She's actually treating him like a mother more than as a wife.
Interesting. The wound is to his hand with a nail too.
Yep.
You got some Christ-like imagery there.
And now this is the space where Frank died, and now obviously this is on set with everything is practical effects. I love that about this.
It really is cool. I mean, you got the heart beating there, you know, underneath.
Very visceral. Really cool.
Yeah. Ishi's in the chat. Welcome, Ishi. Hit me up on Twitter, Ishi. I sent you a message a while too. I know you were dealing with some food poisoning there for a while, so hopefully you're feeling better, Ishi. But
Ishi, I agree with you so much. The second one is better.
Really? Okay.
Yes. It gets far more into the lore, and you get a lot more of the hell, so to speak.
Okay.
Now, this scene is, I think, one of those scenes, kind of like the transformation scene in American Werewolf in London. It's this awesome masterpiece of practical effects.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And this was added later on. This was originally it was supposed to go straight from him cutting his hand and them going to the hospital to the dinner scene. And I think there's something terribly missing if you don't have this set up here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, those nails.
Those rats were very difficult to work with, they said, because they were so domesticated.
Bubble.
They didn't want to do anything. Yeah, they didn't want to do anything. They just sat and looked cute at you. And it's like, we need them to kind of, you know. So they were blowing on them to try and get them to move.
Oh.
You know, it's like.
Jay Sharpie's. Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll just say the fourth one could have been amazing if they'd stuck to the original concept and script. I don't know anything about the sequels. So.
Ishi, I said that exactly early in before we started. I was chatting in the stream, and the fourth movie actually I think should have been split into. It suffered from the Batman syndrome of trying to put too much into one movie. They could have made it into 3 movies.
Oh, gotcha.
So
this is great practical effects.
Well, it was, you know, string and wax melted, and then they just filmed it backwards.
Wow. Sketch Therapy says it's like they completed a ritual but are unaware of it. It's kind of brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the shedding of his blood. Yeah, definitely.
And something that I think gets overlooked a lot. This is really Frank escaping hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, it was his desire to get to hell, and he went through a lot to get there. Now it's his desire. He's changed his mind. I want out.
This is his incarnation.
Yep. And kind of literally a rebirth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, why is I agree with I agree with you, Muhammad. That was an excellent scene, and that scene sets up now the whole haunted house concept here. Now we know as an audience that secret is up there in the attic while all of this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I have always found that to be a douchebag move by a smoker.
Yeah.
What?
The whole cigarette in
the mouth thing? Oh.
And then back out again.
I was going to comment on the way Kirsty's looking at him. I was like, girls look at me like that all the time. It gets tiresome sometimes, you know?
Oh, you got to struggle with it.
Yeah. It's my cross.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, and Lister says, you talk about phallic symbols and the director is gay. Kind of obvious when you think about it. You know,
exactly.
Phallic symbols are a big literary thing, too. They're in film a lot.
It is obvious kind of when you know about it, but when you don't, I actually didn't know until many, many years later that he was gay, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not important, it's not really relevant, but it certainly gives you some perspective on the author's intent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Especially when you know these horror movies are so good for psychoanalytic readings anyway, and that kind of stuff just lends itself.
Yeah.
Does it still hurt? Wonderful line right there, as he awkwardly watches his wife go upstairs. Does it still hurt?
I'm glad you caught that. This film is just filled with little moments like this, and I wouldn't be able to point out all of them. Now, there's a lot of, and of course, this has to do with the filming. Obviously, when you're going to be doing a lot of special makeup effects and practical effects, there's a lot of darkness, a lot of shadow, but when we finally get the reveal of the Cenobites, the so-called demons, how do we see them? We see them bathed in light.
Yeah.
They actually bring the light. The darkness is in the soul of Julia and Frank, and they're the real villains of this movie. That's something to pay attention to as we go through this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we see it, the building of the desire being the sinful nature that corrupts Julia, that's already long corrupted Frank.
Like that heartbeat sound too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. The very visceral.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give credit to the makeup artist too,
Yep.
because
Yeah.
she's got evil eyes anyway.
Yeah.
But the dark liner under the eye
Yeah.
just kind of like heightens the
Yeah.
the evil look to her.
It's interesting too, though. This is what's Frank's brother's name? Her husband's name?
Larry.
Larry just came in with a little wound on his hand, and she was just disgusted, not by the wound necessarily, but by his weakness or whatever, and she's going to sit there and be able to deal with Frank, even looking in that state, and still help him.
Exactly. Phoenix Lord Asherman, exactly. The Cenobites are almost a third party. When done right, I think that they got focused on in some of the other movies in a way that they never should have been.
Wolfton Media said, "Where are we at in the movie?" Frank has just revealed himself to her as the corpse-ish, or
Yep. 2705 I got.
yeah. What are you watching on Wolfton Media? We can give you a timestamp. But
Yeah, I'm at 27:15 myself.
He said, "Being a rat owner, I can only laugh when I see domesticated rats in films."
Muhammad, it hit home for me when I was in treatment and I had a dream of my body falling apart like that. The scene inspired a villain in my big space opera story. I look forward to seeing that. Yeah, wow. Dreams are great inspirations for anything, really.
Oh yeah.
So now what's interesting is that she's repulsed and afraid, and yet when she realizes, hey, this is Frank, now it's like, maybe I have a chance to get back it's
a link to that arousal. So the fear, the repulsion / arousal. Yeah.
So what do I need to do for you?
Blood.
And then you can always tie that into the vampire, the werewolf, the feeding, and so forth.
Yeah, it's always blood. Blood is life.
And the whole time setting it up with the young, innocent.
There you go. That's it. The evil older woman and the innocent. Yeah.
Countess Bathory here with her victims.
Right. Right. In fact, you get the impression that Kirsty would have absolutely been her first victim had her, new boyfriend not just come along when he did.
Yeah.
Now, again, a British train, and you're supposed to pretend this is America.
Love the 80s look.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there we go. That is the Guardian of the Box. I'll dispel a couple myths. That is not Clive Barker. That is not Alan Moore.
Alan Moore.
Seriously, a lot of people believe that was the case. It's not. It was just an actor. And now we're going to have another one of those, dual juxtaposing scenes. Okay. We're focused on the young lovers, and we're going to see what I guess you consider to be kind of a pure kind of romantic love. And then watch what happens as we pull out from this scene. What do we cut to? Okay. The burgeoning, new love, the puppy love. And now we see
the cold.
Exactly. Yeah. Through bars, like in a prison.
Yeah.
You have the ones asleep and, probably flatulent, and the other who's just awake, thinking about how can I get out of this? There's something else for me, something else I want.
Something else she's had once.
Exactly.
You've also got the innocent love underground, is like seated underground. They were in the tunnels there.
Now, it's not overt, but I think it's intended that, now she's just kind of spent a little private time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Before coming to see Frank and saying, "Yep, I'm going to do what you need me to do."
Yeah. Oh, and Lister said, which Clive Barker character is more like Dracula, Candyman or Pinhead?
It's been so long since I've seen Candyman. I can't comment on that. I'd have to go back and watch it again.
Mhm.
But I would say not Pinhead, not the Hell Priest. I think he's very different in many, many ways from Dracula.
Mhm. I really like what you were saying about the Cenobites bathed in light and whatnot. I want to talk more about that when we get to them because there's some good things in there as well.
Oh, another great practical effect moment here. This is just brilliant.
Yeah, that's creepy. Nice framing there.
Yeah, that was for his first movie. He really knew what he was doing with the cinematography.
Mhm.
He knew how to get the shot he wanted.
Yeah.
Now, I was never really clear on what was going on in this scene. Had they had sex? They're in two separate beds. I'm like,
well, that's his dorm room, right? Or is that his,
yeah? Oh, yeah. I guess so. I guess you're right.
So they would have had this little separate beds. I mean, they could have gotten it on, and then we need to actually sleep now.
Oh, yeah. I guess so.
Yeah, but they'd have woke. Come on, they'd have woken up in the same bed.
When I was in college,
if they're going to do it right, I don't care how small the bed is.
I never had the dorm experience. When I was in college, I was dating a woman who had her own apartment just off campus.
Al's such an adorable little innocent flower. Like, oh, but if they had sex, they should have been cuddling afterwards. That's how you do it, right?
Yeah, that's not how you sleep, though. That only works in the movies.
You guys just do not know.
Stephen Cruz says, you'll watch this, but not Showgirls. Unsubscribing.
You know what, guys? Maybe you guys should focus on me with the Showgirls. Maybe I'll do a stream of Showgirls.
He would do that.
I might.
I've been thinking about it.
Mohammed, you're actually talking about the logistics of porking? Yeah, I guess so. And now here you go. Now we drift into that noir, the gothic, the femme fatale.
Yeah.
Power hair.
Yeah.
Power hair. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because again, there is this evolution that you see in her hairstyle as you go through the movie. Mm-hmm. It's important. They use her hair and her makeup and so forth to connote different stages in her development.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now she's the Black Widow, so to speak. Oh, those shoulder pads.
Oh, wow. Mara Jade said, Al gets all the girls because Al cuddles.
I like a cuddle.
Or as Nanette used to say, cuddling's nice, but I want to sleep now. Anyway, something you guys missed. I was talking about the girlfriend that I had that lived off campus. I liked her so much I ended up marrying her.
Oh. I was wondering. I thought it was not a character for you to be talking about ex-girlfriends right there at the net, but that makes sense. Okay. The hair does make her taller than him too. It's kind of looming.
Now, again, this was all done in one take. They didn't have the ability to take it and do different shots over her shoulder, over his, because they're so tight in this house. And the only light they have is coming in from that vestibule. Again, that darkness and that light.
Yeah, true. Dark Stranger asked if any of us have seen Nightbreed, as well as anyone played Barker's one game, Jericho.
I have seen Nightbreed.
Really, I saw Nightbreed too.
Really loved the comics and the toy line that came out for that too.
I did not, nor have I played Jericho.
Yeah, no, Jericho I don't know about.
She's so disgusted by the weak.
Yep. Yeah, she is, and that's what she projects onto Frank is a kind of of power and strength that maybe he doesn't even really have.
Yeah.
But she's just, you know,
Or at least he had it one time. You know,
or at least she thought he did.
Yeah. In her memories, the clouded memories.
Yeah. One could argue that his seeking out something is that lacking in him is actually a weakness and not a strength.
And he was forbidden fruit too. And he was
Yeah.
the brother. You know, he was bad boy written all over his face.
Exactly.
Man, girls dig the bad boy. Dang it.
I just want to say something. You guys give me crap about my receding forehead and my hairline. At least I'll never have the weird, like, no man's land patch of hair like this dude has in the front of his head. That's just weird. At least all of my hair is connected.
Dude, that's exactly why I started shaving. Because
Oh, really?
I was like, I am not going through that. I do not even want to try to pull off the Picard look. I want to just let's just go full Yul Brynner.
I think it was in Seinfeld where the guy was letting his hair grow back because of something one said, and he got upset because when it started to grow back, he realized he was gone, but he had gone bald.
Yeah. Owen Lister, he said that Nightbreed is basically Clive Barker's X-Men. You know what? I think you're right. I hadn't thought about that before. It's true.
Tidy whiteys.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very unglamorous.
How ridiculous can you make a man look too getting undressed? I'm going to take my pants off and reveal my tidy whities and socks still on.
Yep. He's in the sock gap, that's for sure. Oh, those earrings. Oh, gosh.
Look like ninja stars.
Very 80s.
Very sharp. Bam.
Yeah, this was another scene where they had to take out a couple of frames.
Oh, I bet, yeah. Ugh. The teeth and the chin. Look at her. She's excited by that.
Yep.
Yep.
You're going to see that even more.
Agent Boomer for $2. Thank you very much. It is, I need to empty the old bladder, a turn off.
Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely intentional. There's supposed to be nothing seductive about him. He's supposed to be kind of repellent. And now we're about to go into almost a kind of farce. You know, now she's a mess. She's got great shots.
Mm-hmm. The way he moves in there too.
Absolutely. You don't get many shots like that in here, but that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's got to clean up. When is her husband going to be home? She's got to, blood and lace.
Big Al, Muhammad says, Big Al, you seemed way too excited about for the underwear. I just always find the tidy whitey reveal pretty funny.
You're not a brief fan, are you, Al?
I was always a boxer brief guy.
Boxer briefs.
I like boxer. I like boxer briefs.
That's the way to go. That's the way to do it. You got the support, but none of the opportunity for wedgies or any of those uncomfortable things going on.
Exactly. Yeah, you had a little room to move.
Ugh. Seriously, dude, you could at least clean up after yourself.
Nope, that's what she's got to do now.
Yep.
Again, this playing with light, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Now that actor, that's not the same actor that plays Frank.
Oh, it's not.
No, they got a very, very thin person so that they can, kind of play with the whole, diminished, kind of effect.
Did they still put Frank's voice overdubbed?
Yes, it's all overdubbed.
Okay. Ishii says in the novella, Frank was an extreme hedonist who sought out the Cenobites because he'd become numb to earthly pleasure and wanted more, wanted to go beyond ultimate sensation. Isn't that still what's considered it's probably developed more in the novella, but isn't that still the idea in this? Or
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed what you were saying. I was distracted by Dark Stranger's comment. Well, at least it's seductive for her. Lots of people have weird tastes and all, like Al with his big TV fetish.
That's right.
I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating yourself?
Ishii, in the novella, Frank was an extreme hedonist who sought out the Cenobites because he'd become numb to earthly pleasures and wanted more, wanted to go beyond ultimate sensation.
Yep.
Isn't that basically his drive in this? We just don't see it developed as much, right?
Yeah, we don't really. Yeah, we don't, because in prose you can read the thoughts of the characters.
Yeah.
And in this medium you only get, whatever they can put into flashbacks and stuff. So you kind of have to project all of that onto them. So yeah, you're absolutely right on that.
Whoa, I'll be right back. I plugged in this end of my power cord, but forgot to plug it into the wall. Let me go do that before my laptop blows.
Whoopsie.
And so now here you have the husband comes home and you've got that I gotta hide this, like I said, very farcical, and you get a very interesting characterization here with Larry. He's sympathetic, but not too sympathetic. That was the direction he was given, to be, be a little put out. You should be a little bit of a jerk, at least, because we can't sympathize with you too much.
Well, that getting a look at herself.
Yeah.
Like, really look at yourself. Yeah. You know what you just did.
Exactly. Wash the blood away, but you can't wash all the blood away.
A little Lady Macbeth thing happening.
It's interesting you say that. That was very much one of his inspirations.
What's that?
He specified that. A Lady Macbeth.
Oh, Lady Macbeth.
Absolutely. Oh God, I love these makeup effects.
Mm-hmm.
That is just brilliant.
It's such a lost art. I don't think people can even do it as well anymore. Yeah. They don't have to.
That's one thing that I like about that show on Sci-Fi Face Off.
Oh yeah,
where they have the makeup artists. I just find that so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And so Muhammad's making a comment about us talking about cleaning up after him, and it's a corpse. But we were also talking about her cleaning up the blood. Mm-hmm. And how all of these bodily secretions and the blood and everything and the washing away of sin, representing the sin that needs to be cleaned away and hidden.
And let's just be honest, it's always the woman who has to clean up afterwards.
That's an excellent point. You make a joke, but I don't think that was
joking. No, I'm only half joking.
Yeah. Oh. The disgusting and the erotic,
Yep. Yeah, Ishii said the last good makeup artists are all hardcore cosplayers. I agree, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, maybe don't poke at the python.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how would you like somebody to come along and start beating on your windows,
Oh, nothing. I'm just over here outlining the Watchmen.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And I think it's this scene more than anything that people thinking that it's actually Alan Moore.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The guy's a complete wackadoo.
He wasn't even acting. We just filmed him in a pet shop for a while.
Yeah. Exactly.
He flips.
And obviously he escaped from Hogwarts.
There you go. Yeah. It's creepy, like the crickets in the beard and everything still. Yeah, really creepy actor though. And going from the creepo to the love interest.
And I wish we would have gotten more development on the Guardian. I wish we'd seen more of him in subsequent films. That's something that kind of fell by the wayside, and it's really a shame because I would have loved to have known more about what the intent was, what the lore would have been there.
Oh yeah. We just saw that shot of her boyfriend from behind.
Yeah.
Dude, you're in a movie. Get somebody to shave the back of your neck. This is a pet peeve. But you're in between haircuts and guys like, get the hair growing up on the back of the neck. Come on. Get that razor going. Her hair is even bigger in this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Like how much more grandiose the music's getting too.
Now look at the look on her face here.
Yeah. Old hat now.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. And now look at her hair. Now look at how severe it is.
And she looks paler.
I was gonna say, the way she's dressed, she looks more like Cenobite-ish,
And yeah, the eye makeup is a little bit darker. It doesn't have the gold tones that it used to.
She said from Merriam-Webster Dictionary, Cenobite, noun, a member of a religious group living together in a monastic community.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was gonna hit the prof up with that when they actually get revealed. I was gonna ask if he knew where that word comes from.
Yeah.
Yep. And their order is the order of the Gash. Just a little piece of trivia.
Nothing to that name at all.
No. Yeah. No, absolutely very intentional. It draws to mind, a dual meaning plus the dual meaning of blood, representing both life and death.
Well, it goes back to biblically to the word cleave, right?
Yep.
Man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his bride. Well, cleave as a double meaning as well.
Exactly.
And here we go.
And here we get the exposition that gives you the whole backstory of the box, and it doesn't give you the whole backstory of the box, but basically what it is, who the Cenobites are, what he was seeking, why he was seeking it a little bit.
Ugh, the hooks.
This scene was actually torturous for him.
I can imagine, yeah.
With that blood running down into his face,
nose and everything, yeah.
And he ended up getting sick while suspended upside down.
Oh,
yeah. The guy was a trooper.
Wow.
He really was committed to this role.
Now, did she see what was going on? Was that like a vision that she
had? See, you're not sure if this was some sort of projection she saw or if it was just from his description.
Yeah.
You'd think she'd be a little bit more
sympathetic,
freaked out if she'd actually seen it. Now, another great scene, we get to see this whole scene where he's watching boxing. You get the impression that Larry has a little bit of repressed rage and violence in him. This was an addition by Andrew Robinson himself. It was his idea, yeah.
But it's also it's a Jungian principle. I talk a lot about the shadow, on this channel and stuff like that. And when you haven't integrated your shadow, you're kind of useless. You're so busy repressing it that you're just useless in life, And you can think all you want. Well, if they push me to a certain point, man, then I'm going to go really. No, you're not, because you're repressed. You're wussed. You haven't integrated anything, and you got the brother upstairs who's all integration.
Exactly. And the whole idea of that tipping point. The tipping point isn't your choice. The tipping point is now it's gotten so bad it takes you over. You lose your choice. Now she knows he's about to go upstairs to he would discover this. So what's she going to do? How does she keep him from doing it? Well, she uses the only tool in her toolbox, so to speak.
Definitely. He's like, whoa, it's been 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. And what's interesting is in the commentary, Ashley Lawrence actually described it as you don't blame him for being so easily distracted. He's a starving man who's just been given a morsel.
Yep. Yep.
Because
the hell with the prowler upstairs.
Yeah, in a horror movie, there's always, oh, you idiot, don't be distracted. Go check out, that's danger. Get out of the house, and all these kinds of things. But when you look at it from the point of view of the character, it's like, God, I haven't had any in so long. And if she's coming on to me, I definitely got to go after it, you know? So what's her idea? It's like, okay, here's another opportunity for me to feed my boyfriend, and another subversion of expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Ugh. Don't look, Ichi. Back to the bars.
Now here comes another little gotcha scene. There are not many of them in this movie, so I am going to point them out when they come up. So where was Frank? He wasn't there where we expected him to be. Whoop,
whoop. Nice.
And now here he is in their bedroom, right?
Yep.
And she's still looking for him. Where is he?
This is past the point where I stopped watching the first time I was going through and just read the summary.
And here we are in the closet again.
If you need to hold someone's hand, you have two.
Well, in a way, he's got a whole stream of 31 people.
Yeah. Hug me, chat.
Hug me, chat.
Oh, that wasn't a creepy picture at all.
I know, right?
Time for the super chats. He needs it. He needs encouragement. Now, again, the duality. No, please, I can't stand it. I can't bear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. That's a really good scene.
She's an incredible actress.
I like the look on his face too.
Yeah. No rats were harmed in the making of this movie. That wasn't even the body of a real rat. They actually had to take that rat to the whatever board, the censorship board in Britain, to demonstrate that it was not a real rat.
Oh, really?
Yes, they did. Believe it or not. No hugging during this scene, Mara Jade says. And again, a little bit of sympathy for Larry. It's like,
I don't understand
what's going on? You know,
I got needs.
Yeah.
How many cold showers a guy have to take in today?
Right?
You rev a man up and then you just leave him hanging.
Well,
or not hanging, depending on how you view it.
Thanks, Al. Appreciate that.
Yeah, just let you know.
This is a scene that Clive Barker was very dissatisfied with because he didn't get to film it the way he wanted to because of a mix-up in production. They had a very, very brief amount of time to film, and so he had to get it all in one take, and he could only get these two quick static shots back and forth, and the one long establishing shot. He wanted to do so much more. He wanted to go around.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And it does seem wasted.
And it is a pivotal scene too.
Exactly. We don't get enough, except this is the biggest scene establishing that relationship between them, and that's so important given what's about to come up next.
Yeah, the reveals and stuff.
And and what we're looking up at the evil rather than looking. You're expecting to be looking down.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at her. She's dressed in red.
Yeah,
matching his red.
She's bloodied.
She's right there with him, right? Mm-hmm. And again, the old hat. This is just
nice straight seams on the back of those tights. Just saying.
Yep. Okay. Smiley, and then.
Oh, nicely done. Evil.
Oh, she just was perfectly cast.
She really was, yeah.
She's brilliant.
You cheating on my daddy,
right? Yeah, and at this point, that's all she's seeing. That's all she thinks it is, and she realizes it's so much worse than that.
Dark Stranger. Mara says no hugging, and Dark Stranger says, just recite the lantern oath, you nerd. It's like high school all over again. Screw you guys.
But there's something to that. The ritual, we derive comfort from ritual.
Oh yeah.
And whether it's pleasant or Jesus. Well, not quite.
Yeah, not.
You get the impression he's like really.
He's what?
He's angry. He's like, I came here thinking it was going to be one thing, and you're going to tell me, screw you. I'm putting you between us.
These are not the converted expectations I'm looking for. Muhammad said
he looked happy too as he was about to rip the guy apart.
Muhammad says she was meant to be the lead villain for the entire series.
Right. And when you see the second movie, she gets in a way, she takes the Frank role. She takes on that mantle.
I have to say, even though we're not even to the end of this movie yet, obviously, hearing all this, all these insights from you, Troy, I mean, you just confirmed everything I was suspecting about the movie that, I voiced before we started it. So I think watching part 2 is definitely in my future at some point.
Awesome.
It's going to take some therapy. It's going to take some sunshine and
it'll take you about a year to recuperate. Huh?
It's going to take a little time, but we'll get there eventually.
I'll start working on because I spent a year planning this one out. So
I'll read some happy little fairy tales to you. And,
And what I'll be doing is I'll be drawing a comparison between this movie and the second movie with Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein.
Nice.
Another example of one book split into 2 movies.
That would be an interesting.
Taking one little scene out of a movie and then building a whole second movie out of it.
Watching the 2 of those series back to back would be interesting.
Well, if you want to do a rewatch of the original Frankenstein next week, I'd be up for that.
Oh heck yeah!
I think that's the one where Al needs to jump in and be your primary co-host on the commentary on that one.
Mr. Iconic Universal.
Yep.
I was actually thinking about doing a Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein rewatch.
Double feature
because they're short enough to do them in one shot because they're both they're relatively shorter than those films.
Muhammad says, "You're a brave little boy, Kreitzer. I was 12 years old when I saw this, and I'm fine. I think."
You guys suck. That's what you guys all do. Peter Robot says, "You're a grown man. You don't need to hide in a corner every time something scary happens."
Now here, and we've gotten some hints at it previously, but here we establish there's got to be more to that relationship between Uncle Frank and Kirsty.
Well, he even said, "It's your Uncle Frank. Come to Daddy." As soon as he had her in the hallway.
Now think about that. About that. When I told you that in the book, she wasn't the daughter,
it wouldn't have worked. Yeah,
it doesn't work as well.
Yeah,
it means a whole lot more in this scene. Oh, by the way, her reaching into his stomach, that was another scene that they had a problem with. And I think it works a lot better being edited. Clive Barker said that too. Sometimes less is more, and some of the editing he had to do, he actually was glad of.
Bam!
Another great shot. You only get one take on that because they didn't have it in the budget to replace the window.
Oh, and interesting. I like the way too that the design of his face with the muscles kind of crisscrossing, is evocative of the designs on the box.
It is. I'm glad you noticed that. That's absolutely right. That is intentional. Anatomy was very, very key. Now, Professor Catholic. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? The nuns just walk right by someone who clearly is in need of help.
Well, it's to be fair, it's not like she has the narrative written on her shirt. I just was encountered my dead uncle.
She's got blood on her shirt. She's in a cold sweat, she's
holding the gate to hell in her hands.
well. You could forgive them not realizing what that is, but this is clearly someone in need.
And it's not like Clive Barker would have any reason to have unsavory thoughts about the religious establishments in the world.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Now here we go. There's that opening flower that we were talking about earlier. And in a second, you're going to see that flower that we just saw so brilliantly. When she sits up and she gets her bearings and sees where it's on a TV.
Ah, interesting.
With
Hot
muted
nurse.
colors. Yeah, I knew you were gonna.
The wiki summary didn't talk about how hot the nurse was.
Yeah.
As all wiki summaries should.
That's
And
right.
that belt isn't uniform, but I'm sure that
It works.
it works for you.
Ishi says, what sets Hellraiser 1 and 2 apart are the other horror films is the overwhelming sense of seeing something forbidden as if it were peering into something humans' eyes weren't meant to view. Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. There's. I haven't even touched on any of the Lovecraftian elements. That's something I would probably get into more in the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
But there is definitely that otherworldly. Yeah. This is not meant for you. This is not meant for the human mind to deal with.
Doctor's a really good actor.
Yep. And what's unfortunate is this little brief scene here in the hospital was a much truncated version of what ended up becoming the whole second movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'll talk about next year.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because that's
Really
interesting.
key.
Interesting.
Okay, so she just picks up the box, and what happens? The TV starts to.
Oh, nice. She
And
also,
she doesn't even notice it.
say she has like a smile on her face as she's opening it. Yeah.
And that's very important too, because again, this is a big theme that comes out more in the second movie. It's not the box. It's not, the opening of the box necessarily that calls the Cenobites. It's desire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's the pure one, but she's not truly pure. She's not completely pure. She's got her own desires.
Mm-hmm.
She's not completely innocent.
I was like Crazy Kitty asked if I was all right. Yeah, I'm all right. I don't know why.
Al likes to get lost in the film sometime.
Yeah,
Well, I don't have, I get ready to say, it's like you two are going, and it's like not really.
I usually rely on Al a lot more. He's having fun right now.
And let's face it, that's what happens in a threesome if you don't keep the balance,
Oh,
Someone's always left out on the side watching.
Oh, something to pull you this time.
And come on,
Sorry, Al.
isn't that appropriate?
Okay. So between Troy and Mike, who's on bottom?
Al always takes it to
we
the
take
weird
our
places.
turns.
Dang
No,
it.
if he's gonna do it though, this is the movie to do it for.
That's true. It's like
Okay.
it's a little bit weird. And it's like, oh, that was funny and fun. That was weird. And I was like, let's make it
Professor,
dirty.
don't miss your threshold moment here.
Oh yeah, very true.
Literally crossing the threshold into hell.
You also got that womb-like appearance of it too down the
There you
canal.
go.
There.
Excellent.
Oh, Crazy said my breathing was heavier than normal. I was actually, I don't know how much I wanted to describe what I was doing, but I was trying to reach something. Nothing nasty.
or figurative.
Yeah, you notice she's got bare feet.
I had an itch and I needed to scratch, and it's not easy when you can't bend certain ways.
It's so tragic that their budget was so low. This could have been so awesome. This is a creature called the Engineer.
Called the what?
The Engineer.
Engineer. Okay.
So in the lore of Hellraiser, this is the one that creates all the devices.
Oh, okay.
Possibly even the architect of the box itself.
Oh, okay. It was going to sound funny. It was going to sound, I wasn't trying to be cute or funny or whatever, but it looked like her nipples were hard when she was walking down that hallway at first. And that would have played into it, you know.
Interesting that you noticed that. Yeah, getting a little excited now. In fact, the truth is the actress had to deal with very extreme hot and cold. So, you know, but yes, that probably would not have been lost on Clive Barker. Of course, they definitely go out of their way to downplay sexualization of her. You know, you don't want to see her as
she's the innocent one.
Yeah, she is the innocent one. She's the daughter.
Yeah.
And he doesn't stand in the way of that.
That's a cool.
Yeah.
The towel sort of becoming vents like that. There's the same plot. Yeah.
Which is weird. Where's the blood coming from? Because clearly she doesn't have an IV in her arm. Maybe in that I'm thinking too far into it.
Oh, Lister said Al would be the one watching with a pickle in one hand and a corn dog in the other.
Now, this is a little weird behind the scenes that has nothing to do with anything, but this guy couldn't see, and he reaches into her mouth. They had to do this in several takes, and he ended up abrading the inside of her mouth trying to do it because he couldn't see where she was. Yeah,
it's gross.
This actor here, Nick, who's in the Butterball outfit, is actually a very slender man. He's not a heavy guy.
Oh, he's really the Slender Man.
Yep. And here you go, the bright lights.
Yep.
You know, explorers in the further reaches of experience, demons to some, angels to others.
And it's too much light, though. That's the problem, right?
It's oversaturated. Yes, exactly.
So that's what it's doing physically.
And because that's exactly how it's described. When Frank opens the box, it's described in the story that all of his senses are so awakened, he can't tune out everything. He can see, hear, smell everything, including all of his memories from the time he was born.
Oh, wow.
It's so flooding to him that he can't take it. It's painful.
Gotcha.
No, now let me make a deal with the devil, so to speak.
I love the Pinhead's voice too. Is that really his voice, or is it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It was very inspired by. It was this whole idea that, again, the subversion of expectations. You have Michael Myers and Jason who are completely silent. You have Freddy who has just the cheap one-liners, you know, the here and there, and then you've got this eloquence.
Yeah.
This very thoughtful, very refined villain. I want to hear him confess himself.
I just got to say, the one on the left there, he's got to be cool because he's got shades on.
He is cool. They all are. Yeah.
He's the cool Cenobite.
And they're all in leather, so yeah, there's that.
Were these your coworkers at one point, Crizzy?
Oh, forgotten about that. But it's very interesting that the that Doug Bradley obviously shines through that makeup, but the original description of the Hell Priest was meant to be more androgynous. It probably would have been better cast as a woman, but again, this was one example where he
Tilda Swinton.
I was just going to say Tilda Swinton too. Yeah.
If you need androgynous, you go Tilda Swinton.
This was one example where Clive Barker kind of bent to the conventions of the time and gave us the male villain.
Well, you got the male authority figure too, which actually kind of works and plays into it as well.
True.
I miss when TVs were that small.
Ishi says if Al opened the box, the Cenobite would step out and would have a demonic hot corn dog in her mouth.
That's probably true. I mean, you
pickles for fingers.
Everybody's got something different that they're
and real big hot feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so now finally she gets the touch of the lover that she's been missing, but now in the body of her husband, or in the flesh of her husband.
Yeah. That heavy black necklace always makes you think of a rosary when she first picks it up. I mean,
I was thinking that earlier. I was wondering if you were going to notice that. I suspect that was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Scott, I was like, wow, Al, going weird there. That's why I'm here, dude.
What do you mean there, Casey Scott? This is Al. He goes weird everywhere. That's double meaning there.
Yeah.
Want to see my father? Sure. Go see your father.
And then again, the looking out the door, with some apprehension.
Mm-hmm.
What's out there,
Yeah.
Now, obviously, she doesn't know that this is Frank, and that's going to be very important when she next sees the Cenobites.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she finally called Frank Daddy, Mohammed points out. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Is she at all worried about the blood all over his face?
Yeah.
Well, she knows that he's just gone through something.
Yeah. That's
he
true.
probably, it's probably just from fighting off whatever, it was. He goes weird all over. Can mean a lot of things, Prof. Yep, that's true. That's why language is so awesome. Being able to draw different meanings from the same words.
Yep.
And can we just, admire the acting here? This, he goes from playing Larry to Frank, and he is a completely different person just by intonation.
Yeah. And contacts, it looks like, too.
Yeah. Actually, that maybe, I don't know for sure.
Either that or the lighting, but his eyes are definitely
It's
darker.
definitely the lighting. The lighting definitely lends something to it here. And look at Julia. Look at Julia back there brushing her. She's just,
motherly all of a sudden.
But but not really. She's actually being antagonistic.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely come into that evil stepmother thing.
Mara Jade's I got a jar of pickles, a box of corn dogs, and a centaur costume. Giddy up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I call a Saturday night.
Now that's creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, oh gosh.
Bad luck, yeah.
Andrew Robinson has great looks.
Another improvisation right here. Just check the fit of my skin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Janice Seal permission to draw Wolf Geek. Go for it, Janice Seal.
And again, keep in mind, she still thinks that's Frank.
Yeah. And there's the light.
And that's important, that she still thinks that that's Frank there.
Mm-hmm.
See, now she thinks, no, he's my father.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to protect my father. No. You really do want to give them what they're asking for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's full on bitch now, baby.
Yeah. Well, because she doesn't have to hide it.
Yep. But weird. It's a weird shot, like a fishbowl shot there. All of a sudden, the house looks more open than it has been. come to
Yeah,
death.
she just realized. Yep. Yep. That moment of realization.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just ruined his new suit.
I know.
Yeah, right?
Now the Cenobites, though, like, are they restricted to that room up there? I mean, why
No.
aren't they following her? Or...
They probably aren't, but it's my impression that they're just giving her the opportunity she needs to
Gotcha.
figure it out and bring to them what is theirs.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice move.
Exactly.
But look at her.
Betrayal.
Yeah.
She's shocked and surprised.
But it's like they look sexual as well.
Exactly.
The scene, you know.
Nothing personal. That's adding insult to injury because it was all personal for her.
Mm-hmm.
And what right now, she just realizes it wasn't personal for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's just say, I wonder what you would look like as a Cenobite. Me? Oh no, Prof. Cenobite does not need to be an addition to my cast of mean characters. Probably will have the biggest forehead in the world.
And what would the professor's Cenobite handle be? Something like joint cracker?
Joint cracker, no. The head of a redheaded woman in one hand and a pair of Superman trunks in the other.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
Okay. Now we got our little jump scare coming up. The one that I mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah, the statue.
Hello, Jesus.
Not just Jesus, but the Sacred Heart of Jesus, where the thorns are around the heart. You know,
right?
Imagery of the
Good
film.
point. Good point. And then, like I said, back in the closet, Savior.
And that's a classic horror movie move too. The monster chasing the girl through the house. You know,
exactly.
I mean, it's the end of Halloween, right? Yeah.
And the hiding and only seeing the bad guy through a little slat.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess the subversion here is that the bad guy is actually the one being hunted. Not by her, but by the Cenobites.
Yeah. Real maggots. Didn't have to be, but it was. She said they got into her bra. They got stuck there because she was sweating. Clive Barker said, if it makes you feel any better, I got some in my underwear. She said, good. Computer Robots, thank you so much. He says that Troy is a better narrator for this. Better than who? Better than Clive Barker on the DVD or than the professor?
He's certainly the better commentator, which is why we invited him on. I sure said couldn't have done this to this film.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm kind of taking all the
no
literary points on it.
That's why you are here, because I mean I saw something in this movie and I've been pointing out little things, but I too repulsed by it in ways to really pull it all out. She's framed there right with the little gargoyle stare,
yep. And here's the typical, get out of there, but that's not what she needs to do right now, really.
Yeah. Just lead him back in there.
Yeah. Now this is just perverse. Now with the realization that this is her.
Yeah, her father, yeah.
Yeah. Daddy.
Ugh.
Now she's just tripped over his body.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a great line.
Yeah, that is good.
He was dead long before. And in a way, he kind of was. It's true. It's sad.
Especially according to Frank's definition of what is to be alive is to have the
True.
sensations, to have to go after all the visceral,
True.
EC says, while the lore changed, I got the sense each Cenobite originally embodied the desire and fears of whoever opened the box. The female
Absolutely.
throat seemed to be Frank's Cenobite.
Yeah. Jokingly, one of the handles for the female Cenobite was deep throat.
Deep throat. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm glad that one didn't stick.
Yeah. Like the terror in his face there.
Yep. Well, not because he realizes what's happening.
Yeah,
he knows better than anyone what's going on right now.
What awaits
spent
him.
all that time putting himself back together again, and now,
yep, he's going to be torn apart again. It's like, great, you set him up to get knocked down again.
Mm-hmm.
I love the little wisps of hair on the female Cenobite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, that's you in the future, Professor.
Thanks for that. Appreciate that, Troy. I'm surprised you haven't just glued pins on your head yet.
I was going to. I actually had planned, but then I realized you don't do the camera on these streams, so I didn't bother.
Eesh.
So, in a way, the Cenobites are actually the savior. Just as he's, pulling his hand back to stab her, boom.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Oh, she's creepy.
Well, thank you, computer robots. I don't have to watch the movie. It's like when you're narrating the movie, it's like reading the book.
Troy's got a great voice for audio reading too. Like audiobooks and stuff.
I do want to do if you're interested, I'd love to read do a dramatic reading of one of your short stories.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's a great effect.
Oh,
Oh, that's
tongue. Oh,
did you catch that, Professor?
Yeah.
That, do you know where you obviously know that's John 11 verse 35.
Yeah, and it's for Lazarus, so you got the whole
resurrection. Exactly. Right. And for what it's worth, just a bit of trivia, the shortest verse in the King James Bible.
The one that every church boy memorizes to say, I memorized a Bible verse.
Yeah, exactly.
Age of Boomer said this is a very wet movie. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I would use the word visceral, but yeah, wet. And wetness. Again, a double meaning there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay, Crizzy. I just breathe heavy. It's the way I'm sitting in the position of my head. And plus all the.
You notice she has to
breathe heavy.
She has to prise the key out of Julia's cold, dead hand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Another interesting practical effect, he raises into camera because he's on a teeter-totter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Big guy behind him, steps on it to make him float up, so to speak. And again, like I said, here's the symbolism. She's not stabbing with a phallic symbol. She's closing the box.
Yep. They're closing each segment of it, for each one.
I also love the boyfriend showing up when it's too late to do anything to help.
Yep. Anybody in here escape death and need to feel quote unquote alive now?
Yeah, exactly.
See, 1987, yet another movie with a strong female character that survives.
I mean, if you want to talk about, gay representation, empowered women, that's not something new. It's been there all along. People just haven't been paying attention. I love that. He takes the glasses off and it's not like he can see any better now.
Yep. Well, in all fairness, we're only able to see the empowered women now, though, that we've had the wonderful examples of Raylo and
oh yeah, exactly.
Captain Marvel. I mean, they opened our eyes to so many great truths, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's get out of here.
Ew, the engineer.
Yep.
I like that look of his eyes and then her eyes.
Yep.
I look at a little arm hitting him.
He tried.
Kudos. Sounds like a piranha.
Like, instead of freaking out, just like actually wanting to try and get her out of there. At least he's got that for him, He could be like, "Who the hell? What are these things? What is going on?"
Well, I don't think that the Cenobites actually die, though, Phoenix Lord Asherman. I mean, the whole idea is they're not alive and they can be put back together in interesting combinations. They're like micronauts.
Yeah. But I guess, are they the only ones to be defeated on screen like that, or disintegrated or dragged back or whatever? I don't know what he's asking because I haven't seen the other ones yet.
I suppose that's one reading of it. Could be. But what it is it's the closing the door.
Yeah.
They opened the door to hell and now they've closed it. They put everything back in, just like putting Jesus back in the closet earlier. Put everything back where it belongs so I can go back to my nice normal life. But now Christy's never going to be the same. You don't ever, something's always left behind.
No, she's got maggots in her bra, for crying out loud.
Right? Exactly. He's going to be picking those out for weeks. She even said that at this point in the movie, she said she loved this because it was the first time she got to feel clean.
Yeah,
getting close to being clean. And that shirt ended up in Clive Barker's wardrobe after this. He liked that shirt.
Shirt she wore.
No, that he wore, the checkered thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Couldn't burn down the house, so this was a cheap effect way of
It works. It works. Burning down the desire there.
And it's a weird detail, but I just love that chair on fire there. It just
yeah.
Now, when asked, is this the ruins of the house? That's what everyone's always assumed. Clive Barker himself is like, oh, I never really thought about it. I just wrote it as the wasteland. Because in the background, you could see like these office buildings and stuff, and those were definitely not there behind the house.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
oh no, it's Alan Moore.
Yeah, Alan Moore is coming.
She said, "Nah, millennials think strong female characters are underrepresented because millennials have been deprived of good fiction and literature."
Well, it's their own fault for not reading, Ishii.
Indeed.
Or seeking out good movies. They just want to be spoon-fed. Another brilliant practical effect.
Now, I've got to say, though, without you guys here, without you telling me, oh, that's the Guardian of the Box and everything.
Yep.
This has been a what the hell ending?
Yep.
Where's that from?
Yeah.
All of a sudden a dragon comes and steals.
But what happens? You have the Guardian comes, takes the box, brings it back to the same guy who sells it to somebody else who's seeking something.
Yeah.
It's like Jumanji. Just find somebody else to.
Excellent point. That's a very good point. And there you go.
Yeesh. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Frank
Frank
the
the Monster was Oliver Smith. He was the skinny guy I was talking about earlier. I'd forgotten his name. And there you go. That's Hellraiser. That's a
Frank
look into
Baker,
the darkness of a person's soul.
All right. I had to go pray.
Ooh, Sharon Bauer. That's your nurse there, Professor.
Ooh, Sharon Bauer. Okay. Hello, nurse. Hello, nurse.
And Mohammed made an excellent point earlier on. He was talking about how he really likes the whole idea of the story set within an asylum, and that's why he likes the second one so much.
Mhm.
I when I watched this, I had to wonder: is she in a hospital or is she in an asylum?
Mhm.
You know?
Oh, and even in this one, yeah.
Even in this one, what is the intent there?
Yeah. Then again, it's supposedly shot in Britain, and Britain's weird. So
Muhammad,
Darn
you can hear
Brits.
some Islamic prayers in the background at the end. I did not catch that. Thank you for pointing that out. That's another little detail.
interesting.
That's
Cool.
why it helps to watch with other people who bring other perspectives.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Oh,
Right.
that was okay. And I feel like I need a cigarette now.
I was gonna say, are you?
I was very excited. The way you just inhaled, I was like, man, that was a little suggestive.
That was an intentional setup there.
I lost. I got so many windows open here. Let me go back to the chat, which is not that one. That one. Nope. Where'd the chat go?
So, Professor, are you familiar with George Bataille and his writings, eroticism, death, and sensuality, and so
Yeah,
forth?
I mean, I haven't read a lot of them, but yeah. I mean, I know.
Very, very big influence on this for Clive Barker.
I would imagine. All right, good. I got my tab back there. Okay.
And the duality, the acquisition versus expenditure, utility, waste, profane, sacred.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wouldn't be bad if you. Well, no, I guess it might be too much of a blunt instrument if you wanted to use this on your other channel, but it's definitely the kind of thing to think about when you're talking about the sinful nature and heaven and hell and so forth.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely drawing on those. Man, you guys with the memes. I don't know about these memes.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, thank you, Mara Jade. You are so sweet. Nanette, for one thing, you don't smoke. For a second, no, just no. Thank you, Stephen Cruz. Oh my gosh, you guys are so encouraging. You guys might, if you push me hard enough, I might end up having to do some more commentaries on this on my own. I'd be happy to.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you should do the whole series on your channel. People would love that.
Well, I think we're going to save number 2 for next year. And I think now that you've expressed an interest, I'm fired up about that. Mm-hmm. But maybe I'll start getting into, some of the other material. Maybe I'll do a commentary on the original novel, some of his subsequent novels, which I'm just reading. I'm only just discovering that he's done subsequent writing on the Hellraiser's mythos.
Oh, okay.
And he's working in the blended universe of some of his other.
No, I said earlier, it just does not look like Lauren Holly to me.
Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing her without clothes.
That's just, I don't know. It might be the hair. I don't know. Just
gotcha.
Oh, and that's wrong. Your head can't get any bigger than the professor's. I'm the bald one.
Yuck.
I mean, for all that you guys say about the professor, I'm surprised you don't say more about my bald head.
It's okay. They joke with me because they love me. They insult me. They love me.
Yours is a choice, Troy. The professor is a curse of God.
Well, mine is too, but you're right. I embraced it. Whereas the professor is still repressed. See, I'm Frank and Professor's Larry.
What the heck am I doing? This is my channel, my live stream. I'm like, hey, let's watch a movie that makes me terribly uncomfortable, then stick around afterwards and insult me. That sounds like a Saturday night.
You'll be happy to know you just made me spew on that one. I was taking a drink as you said that.
What's your drink? What's your drink tonight, Troy?
Tab.
Just tab?
Yeah, I didn't even
crack. You didn't release the crack. I gotta say, you didn't release the crack.
No, because I wanted to have a clear head for my commentary.
Troy, you want a tab? You got to buy something.
Yeah. Okay, give me a Pepsi free.
You're gonna have to pay for it.
Okay, give me something without Well, wait a minute. He ordered something without caffeine. Oh, tab. Gotcha.
No one would get the Pepsi free reference anymore, though. That was a thing of its too.
Kind of dated. Yeah, if you weren't a child of the 80s, you wouldn't even know what Pepsi free was.
Muhammad, I'm sorry, man. I can't find them. I don't know what you got to tag me in them because I mean, they're not popping up in my my notifications. I'm sorry. They're just not there.
Thank you, Mara Jade. Troy wears a bald head well. I can't picture him with hair. Gosh, I don't think I have any pictures on Facebook or anything of myself with hair either.
I think I've seen one picture of you with hair one time, and it looks
when I was younger, there's a picture of me and Nanette at a wedding, and I had like a nice on pompadour.
It looked as weird as seeing like the John Byrne Lex Luthor with the red hair. It was that weird. It was like, no, that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the thing. Some people just have the head for going bald, and I don't. I would literally look like a cone head, which is also given rise to all kinds of memes.
Actually, computer robots, I'm not so sure that's true because, as Nanette pointed out in the professor's last video, he's got some gray going on in the beard, and it actually looks pretty good.
Oh, my gray? Yeah, I got a lot of gray in the beard and a little bit in the hair too.
And I mean, you can touch it up if you want, but I recommend you don't. Like I said, embrace it.
I did it hoping I would a whole let me see what I would look like, or see what this whole thing. But the problem with like dyeing the beard is that you got to dye it like every other day because mine grows really fast. I'm like, that sounds like a lot of work. I'll just be old.
Yeah, I pretty much have to do it every week in order to keep it. Yeah.
I wish I had my grandfather's hair. He had his came in pure white. That would be so cool to have like this glorious white hair.
At what age?
Huh?
At what age?
Well, I mean, he was my grandfather, but he was older.
I'm just saying, because his hair had was it yellow, blonde, or brown first? I mean, it had to fade into gray or white, right?
I honestly only remember him having white hair.
Grandpa, I don't know what it was. Grandpa, leave him alone.
Grandpa was grandpa.
Well, I did get my grandfather's hair. He went bald, and so did I.
Oh, Nanette just dropped a link to Troy with hair. I don't know if you have to be the friend on Facebook to see it, though.
Let's see.
It's public. No, it's set to public. Yep, there's Troy with hair. Drop the link.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's... I got kind of a Bruce Willis thing going on there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep, that was at my buddy Stan's wedding.
You guys look great.
Who I was hoping was going to be in the stream tonight, but he didn't make it. I think he said he was working tonight.
That's so freaking gorgeous, too.
Isn't she?
She is. Damn you, Troy.
She's got great hair.
Dye your beard.
Yes, we must admit Troy is a lucky man.
Oh, absolutely.
Indeed. Heroinburg. Oh, Heroinburg. Yeah, popping in to say hi. Just want to note that the actor Doug Bradley, Pinhead, lives in Pittsburgh. That's right. Yeah, in Heroinburg. I need to I got the comic you guys sent me a while ago. I love the concept that you guys sent me originally, and the comic is still sitting in my stack of things to read. I need to get on that and do something with it. So thanks for popping in and reminding me about that. But yeah, Heroinburg's they've got a whole I think I've talked about it one time on an unboxing, but they've got a whole comic where it's like the heroines in the city or whatever, and it's done really well. It's like I don't know. I'll dig into it, so I'm not giving it a misrepresentation, but it's good stuff. You should check out the channel there in the chat.
Owen says not to dye your beard. He'll lose respect for you. Don't be like those hipsters, Professor. Now I am going to defend my choice to dye my beard because I still do the cosplay, and I need to keep the dark up. But if I wasn't doing the Klingon thing on a regular basis, I wouldn't even care. I
would just like to now look. I don't dye my beard. In fact, my whole point was that I'm not going to dye my beard. But I just like to point out the dynamic here. Ha ha. That thing about you is stupid. We're going to make fun of you. What? No, don't change that thing about you that's stupid. We want to make fun of you.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's hard to be the prof, man. It's hard.
And what you got to say is no. Find something else to make fun of. There's plenty of things.
Oh wow.
Computer robots. We were young in that photo. That was, gosh, that was how long ago? That was, I don't know, more than 15 years, 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you're a couple years older than me, right?
I'm going to be turning 50 soon.
Oh, well, you're quite a few years.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was born in what, 71. I got to do math now to figure
You
out how
don't look
old I
it.
am.
You do not look that. I always thought you were like, maybe 41, 42 or something.
You're closer to my zone there.
Yeah, that's why when people are ripping on you about your age, it's like, guys, I think I'm about as old as Big Al. And then that's older than both of us. So,
Really?
yeah.
She does not look it either.
Yeah, she's 8 years older than I am.
Whoa.
Damn.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
freaking way.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Wow. Is she a vampire?
I'm not telling you.
Does she bathe in the blood of virgins?
She used to, but it's harder to find them now.
Is that why you're so into this movie, Troy?
Right.
Wow.
Wow. I never
Actually-
thought she was older than me.
Al, that would
Geez.
be an interesting commentary to talk about Elizabeth Bathory.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
They did a what's that
Gore.
show on Amazon?
It was
Gore?
a horrible episode though, because like they only
The whole new season was just not up to par.
they've got about 15 minutes worth of really cool, interesting things to say, and they drag it out to like
I know.
30
I know.
a bunch of repeated footage and a bunch of like one of the virgins goes to Count Bathory's castle, and you see the virgin, she's your carriage, she goes up to the castle gates, and then she goes inside the one gate, and then she gets out of the horse, and then she goes up the steps, and then she goes around the wall to the other one. It's like, seriously, what point does this start? It was a horrible, horrible show.
Yeah, and I was very disappointed because I loved the first season, and then the second season they changed the way they did the show.
Yeah,
and then just drag stuff out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god.
Now, have you guys seen Penny Dreadful?
The series? No, but I heard
I've never seen it. I want to see it because of Billy Piper.
You get to see a lot of Billy Piper. In it.
I know.
Well, if that's all you're interested in, just go see Secret Diaries of a Call Girl. But
I know.
but Penny Dreadful was interesting take on all of those characters, and talk about the shared universe concept. I think it's exactly what Universal's Dark Universe wanted to do and just couldn't manage to pull off.
Mm-hmm. Every time somebody says Penny Dreadful, I immediately think of one of my absolute favorite horror hosts out of Massachusetts. Let me see if I can show you this. But the show's called Penny Dreadful's Shilling Shockers. And it's been like over 10 years or so. They've got so many seasons. It's like public access kind of thing, But Penny Dreadful's the witch there. And then Guru was her husband, who sadly passed away some time ago. But she still does like specials and stuff like that. And they're really great. It's good classic horror host stuff. I've got a couple of, I even friends with her on Facebook. And I forgot the Mad Luna. That's the producer, or at least was a producer for a time. But they would do a lot of the cons and everything like that. So every time someone talks about the series Penny Dreadful, I just think of Penny Dreadful here. That's what I'm thinking of.
I love the horror hosts.
Yeah.
I see, of course you got, Elvira, but you have all the of course the DC Count Gore Duvall.
Oh yeah.
And
Miss
Svengoolie.
I think you're going to start seeing the horror hosts. I don't think they're going away. I think they're going to just start moving to YouTube and stuff like that.
Fan Man needs to be a horror host.
That's I guess Fan Man. That's what
awesome.
Fan Man wants to do.
Yeah,
I think he wants to have a horror like late night show.
He would be perfect for it. That's just everything for him. And plus, because he has that late night comedy thing down. He's got that shtick down, So, and to combine that with his love of horror, perfect.
Well, he knows his stuff too. I mean, he just, the only reason I was able to do the commentary that I did on this was because I've dug into Hellraiser the way I've dug into things like Star Wars and Star Trek. you know, as a genre, but he does that with all horror movies, it seems.
Yep.
He knows like all the behind the scenes, all the trivia, all the everything, and it's just amazing to me. Movies I've never even heard of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Plus, he's just a funny guy. Funny like a clown. Funny like he's here to amuse us. That's what I'm saying.
I think didn't he have it? No, I think that's next weekend where you have a Halloween party.
I understood that's tonight. Actually,
it
is tonight. Oh
yeah.
Man!
Yeah, in fact, he was direct messaging me asking for some last minute tips on his makeup. It's the first time he's ever done a facial appliance.
Did he put pictures yet?
Not yet, but he said he was going to.
Come on, fan man. Look at his Facebook here and see. If
he should live stream himself at least for a little, or do a video. He's got to do a video.
Facebook Live. Oh no, he got pictures from the party here.
Oh, does he?
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Oh, his wife is Bride of Frankenstein. That's so freaking awesome.
That's awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, that's so cool. I wonder if I can't really show it because it would give like his wife's name and everything. Let me.
Yeah, you don't want to dox him. Yeah, see if he's. Well, I doubt if he'd answer though.
Yeah, I'll let him show that because I can't really figure out a way just to get him out. That's really...
he's probably in bed already.
I know, right? Party's over. It was over at 7 p.m., folks. He looks good as Freddy, though. Actually,
hey, I'm not going to rip on the fan man too much. I actually took a nap today because I wanted to be up and vibrant for tonight.
I take all kinds of naps all through the day. And that's what you got to do as a father. But
well, I assume that you
I do the deep relax. I just keep playing like Angry Birds, and I just kind of.
I've come to the decision that you must like be sleeping at night and awake, or I mean sleeping in the day and up at night, because your streams are all so darn late in the middle of the week. I'm like, okay, he definitely is a vampire.
No, I tend to, my schedule usually, and it's not a healthy schedule. I need to work on it and get some better sleep, but I'll usually go to sleep at around 5 a.m. and I'll sleep for 4 or 5 hours maybe before Alyssa gets dropped off over here, and then I'm up with her for a while. Then in the evening, when I'm able to take her to see my mother or something like that. I usually be able to get some naps in the evening too. So I've got my night owlness is framed by 2 chunks of sleep, but it's not exactly healthy. I need to do a bit better, but I can't. My nighttime is my hours of creativity. Also, practically, those are the only hours I can focus, because Alyssa, I love her to pieces, love hanging out with her, but you don't focus on anything else when she's screaming and running around your head,
No, you can't. Absolutely.
So, yeah, we'll figure it out eventually. But speaking of, I do have to wrap this up here because Alyssa is getting baptized tomorrow, so I have to get up a little earlier.
Oh, wow. Amen.
Oh, awesome.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I got her. I still need to go in the morning and find her some decent shoes because I got her a nice little dress. She's willing to wear the white dress because it has a rainbow collar, and it's got to have the rainbows on it or she's not touching it. So
and you just did a video about baptism on your other channel.
Yeah.
So I think the follow-up needs to be Original Sin.
Yeah, you were saying that. That's a good idea. I kind of had confession going on in my head too, but yeah, we'll see which one I get to first. That's a good one though. Original Sin. That's a solid topic, so definitely.
I'd like to hear your take on it because I obviously have my opinions on it myself. You kind of touched on some of the things I was thinking in your last video. So
cool. Yeah, it's a fun channel. I really like doing that. So I don't think I dropped the link. Let me put that in there before I roll on out here. You guys want to start giving any of your pitches for your stuff? I do have links to both of your channels in the description below.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Both of you.
Something I just put up on my channel was, and I think I've put it up correctly, I went and I grabbed links to the videos on both of your channels where I co-hosted stuff. So
cool. Yeah.
In the playlist section. So people can go back and see some of my other videos with you guys. And
yeah, I've got my little preset. I've got you two and Chris are in the box like, oh, and check out my friends.
All right, there. Put it in the link there. So what do you got? You think about doing anything up on your channel coming soon now, or are you still in the planning stages?
I'll do a video this week. I'll probably do another live stream sometime during the week in the afternoon. Just get a nice little about 10, 11 people in there sometimes. Just afternoons with Al is what I call it, afternoon
Like
with Al.
afternoons.
And I'll get another. I'm watching I just started watching Insatiable on Netflix. The one with Jesse.
Debbie Ryan.
Thank you.
Entirely not where I thought you were going with that.
Yeah, not that insatiable. Just a very bizarre and odd series that I kind of like. But yeah, I'll get another video up. I've got an idea I'm kind of going about in my head a little bit. And of course, Review-O-Rama. Keep an eye out. Something will pop up eventually. Maids and Monsters. I actually updated twice today. And Iconic Universal Monsters, Iconic Batman. Come on by, say hi.
And people in the chat are loving this comment. Thanks for joining us, Troy. Everybody's loving. Muhammad said we're all awesome, and so are you, Troy.
Oh man, that is I know. I am just giddy over here. Everyone is so encouraging. You guys really need to tell me if you want me to do something else on my channel. If there's something you'd like me to dig into, let me know, because I'm kind of stalling. I don't really know where to go with my channel from here. One of the things I was telling Al that I want to do is I want to start a series where I do a dramatic storytelling of the for years, me and my buddies had a Dungeons and Dragons story going, and I'm like, this would make a great little, narrative story that I was thinking of doing on my channel, but I want to do something else. So whatever you should
you should do a video on Klingon makeup and garb.
Well, it's funny you say that. I have a whole separate channel that I haven't even started yet. I just kind of created it and haven't done anything with it yet. I want to do the whole Klingon Cleric thing, and that's one of the things I wanted to do. And then with Fan Man asking me for makeup tips, I'm like, damn, I wish I'd already started doing some of those makeup tutorials so that I could point him to them.
Do you have a batleth, of course?
I've got a number of them. I've got both wood and metal.
Ooh, nice.
I have an incredible array of Klingon weapons.
Are you proficient?
No, but I do have the only martial arts book that was put out for the Klingon fighting style. It was one of those things. It was put out by a martial arts dojo that they got a cease and desist, so they only got as many books out as they got out. And they were planning to do a whole series of them, but
Paramount. Let me guess.
Exactly. But the guy that created the Batla for the show was a martial artist, and he basically created a whole martial art around that design.
Cool.
So yeah,
batleths are cool. I always liked the batleth of Kalos. The one that they had that they beamed into space.
I fully intend to eventually do a video that talks about not only the real world aspects of the Batleth in the show, but the lore behind it within the universe and the creation story of it and so forth.
Plucked the hair from his head
and forged it in the Kristock volcano. Exactly. And there's a lot of symbolism there. And then I've seen a lot of crafters who make actual swords talking about, actually you need to put carbon into steel, and you could get carbon from hair. So, and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. I wonder if they put that much thought into it.
Probably not. Probably just just sat there and wrote it one day.
Hey, Professor, screw you for crying out loud.
What?
Yeah.
Was it got? Oh, sorry. Were you guys? Oh, we're talking about stuff. Okay.
Okay, so I'll wrap up my portion, guys. If you really did enjoy me tonight, give me some ideas about what you'd like to see on my channel. Direct message me, Facebook me, whatever.
And everybody go subscribe to. Like I said, links to both of these folks are in the description, but there's the link again to Troy's. Agent Boomer was asking what the rewatch is for next week. It's a surprise. I'm going to announce it on the office hours stream. It'll be something easily obtained for all, because next weekend and actual Halloween night is still up in the air whether I'm going to be able to do anything on that night or not. Probably not, but we'll see.
Halloween's on a Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So next weekend is the last weekend proper Saturday night rewatch we've got.
Yeah.
Okay, Jekyll and Hyde is Monday night.
Monday night, the rest of Jekyll and Hyde book study. So that's there.
I did finish.
Very good. Very good. So everybody, go check out Troy. Troy's good at this, and he needs to be encouraged to do a lot more of it. So there we go.
So the next book will be announced.
I guess office hours ish, maybe. We'll figure it out office hours.
I was going
Okay.
to say, if we're going to
Smart.
be finishing up on Monday, we probably need to start.
Well,
thinking about
we're
that.
taking a week off too, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The book
those
stays
people
there.
people will need to get the book.
yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. Always fun. And until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the stories you love, even if it's Hellraiser.